Hello and welcome to another KRL Hot Lap. Here we are at Oulton Park for round 2 of the KRL Driver Swap Cup. Here we go at Oulton Park. Really tricky track, really bumpy and very easy to make mistakes. It's going to be about qualifying, so which team is going to send out their star driver to do quali. But anyway, here we are on board, dancing on the brakes into turn 1. Don't run all 4 wheels off the track there because you will get a valid lap and that's your whole lap done straight away. Down into turn 2 or 3. Keep it really tight as you can. Use the downforce of these GT3 cars and then exit nice. Keep the momentum up all the way up here. Little dab of the brakes, flick it in, and once you get the front tyres gripped up, you can load it back up full throttle there. And try and get to the far left you can. Brake in a straight line. Try and do a little V shape here as you can see. Double apex it. And there you go, exit. Gotta be careful sometimes with the traction. Here's a really tricky corner here, this chicane. Don't touch the inside curb in the McLaren because you will die. Don't touch the other inside curb or you will die. That exit curb you can touch. So that's one of about 20 curbs around here you can and cannot touch. So again, down to here, really easy to lose it back in here because it's such a quick entry speed. Slow it down, use the exit curb there, but you can burst it with speed. So use all that curb there. There's curb 2 we can use. And up into this little hill section here, really fast. You gotta be careful, you've got to double apex this one, so leave it in 4th. There's your first apex there, let it drift out, and there's your second apex, close enough there. Full throttle, exit onto this last corner. Again, very easy to make a mistake here. If you go in too deep, you're gonna fall off the, almost the face of the earth. There's that much drop away on this corner here. But hopefully, if you've done all those things I just said, you can do a 1:34.0, which this lap is. So, yeah, have fun if you're doing qualifying tonight, because it's going to be very tricky, but it's very hard to pass, so that's going to be the key around here at Oulton Park.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're watching right around the country and, in fact, the world. Here we go. Welcome to you, Caleb and Albert, who straight off the bat says, Wilco, what a sexy voice. That's not a great one there. Hello to you, Caleb. And here we are for round 2 of the Driver Swap Endurance Cup. This time coming to you from another famous British circuit in Oulton Park. In whatever county that's in. The man who will know is the man alongside me, back for another week. I speak of none other than Bob Hoskins. Bob, good evening to you.
Good evening, Trev. How are we doing?
Absolutely fantastic, my friend. Not quite career best, but pretty close. And we've got a big lineup. Look at that full house tonight. Bob, and we are going to see if the practice times are anything to go by. We are going to see some very close racing once again this week.
Yeah, no, dead right. I think, was it 11 or 12 drivers all within a second?
I think we're looking, let's just have a look at some of these practice times. I can't quite get them on the screen, but 10 drivers all within half a second. And in fact, Music Racer and Wilco very close. It was a dead heat on a 1:34.836, but I have a feeling, Bob, that we are going to see times low 1:34s, do you think, for pole position tonight?
Yeah, mid to lows, I would say, is a definite possibility. I mean, we know Wilco sandbags, so, you know, is he holding something back?
We will wait and see. That man is in the comments. Caleb and Wilco, plenty of love there as per usual. How are you, legend? Good mate, says Caleb. Great to have you with us on the live stream tonight. Look at that, 18 drivers. We are taking a look at F1 Sniper, who's been caught out, and that won't be for the first time tonight. He's off the track and into the wall, and turn 7, 8, 9. The Fulston's chicane there. We said off air a little bit earlier, Bullseye, this is a track where you need to get your elbows out if you are going to maintain track position. Not a track conducive to passing, however, but you do need to get those elbows out tonight, don't you, Bob?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's it's one of those tracks. You know, it's quite narrow. There's a lot of undulation, off camber corners. It's just going to be door to door, I think. There's no real dive points. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
And big rundown tonight. You know the drill as righty. Isuzu Brian 86 has joined us. Let's go RPR lads represent. And righty's got a special request. I don't know whether we're taking requests at the minute, Bob, but just because it's righty, we'll have a think about this. He says, can we get a shout out from Bobby Hoskins saying, righty you mong?
Righty you mong.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. Thank you for that, Bob. The first one's free, righty, and then we'll have to start charging after that. Good friend of KRL, of course, and a fantastic person nonetheless. Wilco up and about there. Kilroy, who didn't do much wrong, did he? Last week. My money on Glenn, and Alberto says, Scott, good to have him back. And righty enjoyed that, Bob, as well. So thank you very much for that. 135.925 as righty enjoyed that very much. He says, legend, Bobby. And Albert says, evening, Geordie. Hello there, Albert. Great to have you with us. Said a brief hello to him in the chat earlier on tonight. Albert and Glenn paying 101. We've started off taking requests, Bob, but are we opening up the betting markets or not here tonight?
Oh, I don't know about that. You're licensed.
Well, I guess, I'm not sure about those, like those match fixes in the cricket. We can do something. We'll get on the phone to Salim Malik and the boys over there and see what's going on. But look at this. Here we have Glenn coming through that tricky little chicane. We mentioned several layout changes over the years. More than I will trouble you with, but this track opened in 1954, long before my time, and it's gone through a few changes. The current layout, 4.333 kilometres, the track length, and 2003 this track to now in its current form. And righty saying we need you back on board next season, Bobby, and Caleb saying magnificent display that. It is great to have everybody with us here tonight. Let's take a look at Aussie Thunder. The top 5 drivers separated by less than a second. We saw the top 10 separated by less than a second in practice leading up to this race tonight. But where has qualifying gone, Bullseye? Just a tick over 3 minutes to go. And we can see there it is Glenn with a 135.256. Not quite the early 134s we were expecting here in qualifying.
Yeah, no, I didn't know who was going to go out and do the qualifying, so Wilco has actually let Sniper go out for this one. So there's been a change by a few of the teams as to who is doing the quali this week. As
we look here, one driver per team only, of course. As you mentioned, Bob, taking part in the qualifying session tonight. 2.5 minutes remaining in that session. 10-minute quali followed by a 1-hour race. And driver 1 must make his pit stop on lap 15. Oh, and then driver 2 can do his pit stop anytime in the stint for fuel only. As, boy, oh boy, everybody with us here tonight. Scotty saying, love you, Alberto, no pressure. Loves love hearts and kisses. Victory Rider LJ Hooker says hi, and Plum Boss says let's go, go, go. And Big Shep's joined us as well, Bobby Hoskins. He says a very big hello to Trev and Wilco and Bobby as well from Sinbad's Bar, his local watering hole at 1 to 11 Linton Place in Scoresby Village, Victoria. Our hosts tonight are Jill and Nina, and he's had a few frothies as well. Still haven't had, we keep giving them a shout out each week, Bob, but we do not get any product or any samples of that sweet liquor from down there at Sinbad's in Scoresby, Victoria. But we'll keep giving them a shout out, part of the KRL family. And these comments flooding in. We had 20 people watching as Jimbo off the side of the track there on the start-finish straight. Is that going to affect anybody's lap, Bob? I don't think so.
No, Glenn also went off as well, and he was on a green lap. So I'm just jumping around now because I've seen some fast times from Boss. So I keep on jumping between Boss and halves at the moment.
As let's take a look at Mac Miller, who's sitting inside the top 6. As LJ Hooker, you're the best, says Oz Post. Australia Post might not deliver the goods in good nick. Don't talk to me about Australia Post. I keep getting messages saying your item is coming today, Bob, and it doesn't come on that day. So a bit of, and it's up to me to chase it up. But anyway, that's another story. Isuzu saying, let's go, boss. And Wilco also saying, remember it is 3 points for pole, 2 for second and 1 for third. So we have to keep up with the point system in this driver swap Endurance Cup Championship. As Mac Miller's on another run. Who else is going to get through here before the time runs out, Bob, to start another lap? I think that's it.
Yeah, the boss was on a green lap, and he just discounted his lap as well just by running wide.
And let's have
a
look.
I think this is how it's going to finish.
So let's have a look here. Who have we got on a hot lap? Somebody is coming across the line. I think that might have been Kilroy up to P6. What do we got? Aussie Thunder. A few other guys in front of him. Harvey's off the track. And that will be the end of his qualifying session. Here comes Aussie Thunder, 1 second off of pole position. He comes across the line, and it's a second row start. Sniper, also in the top 6, back in the pits as well. Kilroy, and we've got Mac Miller now, who is the last driver. No, I think we've got Nobby as well. I think still active out there on the circuit. As here we go then. Mac Miller negotiating the Fulsters chicane. Those bumps are deadly. So watch out for that. As here comes Mac Miller now. Or have I... no, someone else has crossed the line. So
yeah, that was Nobby's nuts.
And,
he didn't improve.
No, take a nibble on Nobby's nuts. You can forget those old ads. But here comes Mac. Everyone else in the pit lane. Qualifying is over. As Scotty says, Hope Boss has gone through John's checklist to ensure he's stocked up with driver aids. Very controversial as Mac Miller comes across the line. What can he do? It's only good enough for 7th, but that is the end of qualifying. Plum Boss liking Harvey's lap there, Bob.
Yeah, young Halves has he's not been doing a lot of racing of late, but that's a nice strong lap in the Audi.
And that is the end of qualifying as Jimbo James Barton says, I'm back again. And Isuzu just telling Geordie to shut up. Jimbo Barton Motorsports, don't forget, always a shout out for you, Jimmy. We absolutely love it. But there we go. Look at those beautiful cars lining up on the pit wall there. And look at those mechanics on the right. Furiously going about their work. But stick around. I'm shitting on again, Bobby, but we have a 1 hour race coming up here. And driver 1 pitting on lap 15, driver 2 taking over after that. And you know what, Bobby? I might have to return to garage so I can get back to see what's going on. Glenn on pole position. And there we go, the boss alongside him. Harvey in 3rd. Let's recap. Aussie Thunder in 4th. Jimbo in 5th. F1 Sniper in 6th. Mac Miller 7th after that late run in qualifying. Kilroy in 8th. Nobby Nuts in 9th. And the rest of them there. But there we have it. We are almost ready to go. You can see the layout there. We've got 17 corners from Old Hall Corner, the Avenue, Denton's, and a few others, which I won't go through them all. But boy, oh boy, 90 seconds and counting, Bob. This is going to be a ripper.
Yeah, no, that was a shame for Mac there. He actually improved his lap time by 9/10, and he actually crossed the line 3/1000 off of Sniper.
Incredible stuff. That is how close it is. And you can see there Wilco saying Sniper getting Mac by 0.003. That is exactly what I want to see, Bob, when I blow into the random breath test as well, coming home from the golf club around the corner. But less than a minute now to go. 13 people watching a baker's dozen. 13 gorgeous people there. 18 people on this grid. Now, we know that passing is awfully difficult around this 4.3 kilometre circuit. But I tell you what, we are going to see some action here tonight. 1 hour, like we keep saying, driver 1, 15 laps before driver 2 takes over. And 30 seconds, we've got the call, Bob. We are almost ready to go here. Wonderful turnout as well. More than, I think we had 13 or 14 last week.
20 seconds.
If my memory serves me correctly. But we've got, pretty much got a full house, haven't we?
Yeah, it's only one team that couldn't make tonight, and that was one of the guys is actually doing his end of month books. So yeah, just one car down, from it being a full event.
3, 2, 1. We are almost ready to go racing here as the drivers make their way up to a Lodge Corner and the Deer Leap. Interesting corner names once again. And you can see the slow run Glenn. What is going through his mind on pole position tonight? The boss just behind him. And Big Scotty says, smoke them RPR boys. A lot of good banter there early, but look at this. Glenn, the boss, Harvey in third, and then it's Aussie Thunder behind him. We've got 9 drivers staring down into turn 1. Glenn's warming the tyres. Is he going to go? Is he going to go? Let's just wait and see. As we've got it, green, green, green means go, go, go here for round 2 of the Driver Swap Endurance Cup here from Oulton Park in the UK. Glenn leads through turn 1, maintains that lead off the start line, the boss, and there's plenty of action at the back.
We've got an off.
Somebody's off at the back. There might have been a few, he might have a few mates there with him, whoever that was. I didn't see it, but we've got Glenn leading. And yellow flags out in Sector 1. Somebody's trailing down there at the back, it looks like.
Aussie Thunder.
Aussie Thunder. And you can see there in the number 11 Mercedes, I saw a flash of blue at the back, and that is the worst possible start for him, Bob, and now he's off the track again.
Yeah, I think he's got a bit of dirt on his tyres. I can't see any damage on the car, so I think just while those tyres are cold and then got all the dirt on them, I think he just couldn't hold it for that next corner. Terrible
start for Aussie Thunder down there, 15 seconds off the lead car in Ferrari's Glenn unit, number 67. Here he comes. And we're only about halfway through lap number 1, 58 minutes and counting here, ladies and gentlemen. Do not go anywhere, because already that gap between first and second, Glenn, to the boss is 1.1 seconds. So the field already starting to spread out. Harvey, he got a good start off the line. Jimbo Jones as well. F1 Sniper off the track. And that's going to let Kilroy and Nobby's nuts. Is Nobby going to have a bit of a nibble at Sniper? Indeed, he is. Mac Miller there up in 6th. Kilroy down to 7th. And the pit lane is open. But we won't be seeing any pit stops for a while yet. 16 people watching us here. Great to have your company wherever you're watching us right around the world. From Sydney to Siberia. Wherever you're watching us, Zimbabwe as well. Wherever you're watching from, great to have you with us. Kilroy now in 6th. And you can see there already, Bob, there is a gap starting to emerge there between Jimbo and Mac. That gap 3.3 seconds. But at the moment, out in front, looking very nice indeed. We've got Glenn Newton in the Ferrari, but the boss still keeping him honest. The gap, 1.4 seconds.
We just had a nice overtake there.
Let's have a look here. We're looking at, was that
Nobby come past Kilroy. Really nice overtake.
So let's take a look at that. And is Kilroy going to have a go back here? I think he might. He's going to, he says, you know what, I'm coming through. I'm going to take it back. And Sniper involved as well. Get those elbows out. We've been saying it at the top of our show tonight, Caleb. Very nicely done indeed. Dabbing there in the comments. Great to see you there. Wilco saying, lucky I'm not starting the race. But look at this. Sniper alongside Kilroy. And the race is on. Look at this coming down to Druid's Corner, turn 15. And then onto the back straight before the final couple of corners. But this midfield battle is intense. If you can call it a midfield battle with only 9 people out on the circuit. What's Aussie Thunder doing? He's still running, but he's right at the back. Lap 2 of this race, and Glenn, our race leader, leads by 4.8 seconds. Jimbo keeping Harvey honest there and under pressure, but this midfield battle is intense. at the moment, Bob. A bit of damage here for the boss, it looks like, in the Mercedes there. Still holding
he's
on to
lost 2
fourth.
spots there, sorry.
Yep, so he's holding on to fourth, but hopefully that damage won't affect him too much. Mac Miller having a good race here. Just 2.2 off the boss there. Nobby has managed to get that move done, and I don't think that Kilroy can do anything about it there, Bobby. He's through and up into 6th place.
Yeah, I think he was a little bit rattled actually. The way that Kilroy got the move done, it was tremendous.
Great stuff, and he is well and truly well. As soon as I say that, Kilroy is less than a second now, but gee whiz, the passing opportunities, we have been saying it all night, but where are the best passing opportunities, do you think, around here, Bob, on that back straight possibly? It's not great for passing around here.
If you get a good run between Britons and Hislops, or out of lovely name Knickerbrook down to Druids, I think it's all about just getting it hooked up and having a nice run.
And I think that Fulston's chicane there as well, turn 8. If that was probably flat, you might get a run there. But anyway, you've got to get it done where you can. And let's take a look. Lap 3 already of this race. Sniper down there in 8th. Aussie Thunder is, it's going to be a long way back from there, but there is a long way to go in this race. So it is Glenn dominating out front. Who was it that put $1.101 on Glenn? Just looking back in the comments, I think it was J Mads Manaford, Albert and Glenn paying $1.01 there, and I've got to say that's a pretty good bet at the moment there, because he is 4.7 seconds in the lead. But like we saw last week, Bob, it's all about playing the long game. Concentration, very important. And you don't want to really stuff it up for driver number 2, do you, in the second half of this race?
No, especially on a track like this. You know, you take a little bit too much curb, you've lost a lot of time. So yeah, this is about keeping it on the black stuff, keeping it nice and smooth, and just churning those laps out.
There we have it, nice and smooth, as Rick Oztech has joined us this evening. Ohio gozaimasu. That's Japanese for hello and good evening to you. We're not in Japan, of course. Not sure where that came from, but Rick Oztech says, is that Jimbo Jones back racing? Indeed it is. Commentator's curse almost there, Bobby, because he got a little bit twitchy there coming up towards the last corner. In fact, it's not the last corner. Because a deer leap, the little kink at turn 17. This one that Jimbo's coming through now, as Scotty got his bets in early before the odds dropped. And Jimbo, that BMW looking quite the handful there going through turn 1, Bob.
Yeah, no, it does look a bit loose on the back end there.
As it's
I don't know. I think that's the way that Jimbo normally sets his cars up, though. I think he does like them a bit loose.
And he likes his cars that way as well, but he's still in 3rd position, so things are settling down here. Scotty, let us know how much you put on this race tonight. We might have to open those betting markets up and see how we go there. Wilco says Jimbo is on the controller as well. Interesting. Some tracks prefer the controller, don't they? Some cars, some tracks, some drivers prefer the controller over the wheel, as the boss has a little moment. We can see that chicane, Fulston's chicane, as not for the first time this evening, and I'm sure not for the last, catching out the drivers tonight. Jimbo, he likes it loose, but not quite that loose, Bob. And as Caleb goes, ooh, what's the next question, says Rick Oztech. These comments flooding in. And I do apologise, Bob, if I'm coming through rather loud on the PlayStation chat. I've had the microphone up too far. But anyway, hopefully it's loud and clear. 18 people watching. And Scotty says Jimbo thinks it is raining out there, because you'd reckon he's driving on ice at the moment, the way he's going around there. But the boss, who had a moment on that last lap, as we come through to complete a lap 5, is closing that gap. But let's just have a look. And Kilroy, some action here. Nobby Nuts, Sniper, and Sniper having a go at Kilroy. Oh, Sniper on Nobby Nuts here. I think I've missed something, Bob, but this battle's still intense.
They were almost 3 abreast into the last corner. It was manic.
And that is just what we want to see. Caleb is up and about, and you bloody well should be, because with 51 minutes remaining, these three are not going anywhere, not giving each other any space at all. No quarter given, and it is Nobby 3.6 behind Mac. Mac sort of out on his own at the moment up there in P5, but then it is Sniper. Look how close it is. 6th, 7th, and 8th. All together coming through the chicane again, and Nobby's had a moment. And it seems that Sniper's going to have a little nibble on Nobby's nuts, and so is Kilroy. And they are through. And that mistake has cost him dearly. It's cost him 2 positions there, Bob. And now he's got it all to do to get back into the action here.
Yeah, no, this is a tremendous fight. I must admit, I haven't really moved away from these three, because this is entertaining stuff.
As Wilco says, Barters and I are in a party absolutely shitting ourselves. Not sure if I can go with that sort of language at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. A little bit early where you are, Bobby, but watching Kilroy and Sniper battle it out, they are indeed having a great race. Caleb's loving it as well. Rick Oztech, this is better than watching the footy up to half-time. The Tigers are losing against the Gold Coast Suns. I think he's referring to that game. But Rick Oztech, hang in there. You only kicked 2 goals last week. But anyway, enough AFL talk, because it is all about this action here at the moment. Nobby Nuts has dropped a second back further down the road already after that mistake. And boy, Sniper and Kilroy off into the distance. And what is Mac Miller doing? He's 3.9 behind this man, the boss. But let's see, it doesn't look like that damage is affecting the boss too much in the Mercedes, because he is all up in Jimbo's business here, Bullseye.
Yes, he's taken that gap down to half a second from, I think it was about 1.5 seconds a couple of laps ago. No, it's looking like he's, as he just hits the tyres in the infield.
And the tyres are a thing of the past there. And they went bouncing, bouncing, bouncing. Hopefully none of the marshals were there in the way. That bonnet is just hanging on for dear life. Look at it. Look at it. The boss. The damage, it's pretty bad on that car, but it's not stopping him from getting right up behind Jimbo here. Is he going to have a go? Coming up to the Lodge corner through Deer Leap 16 and 17. And glad I didn't waste my time going to Marvel Stadium, says Rick Oztech. Paulie. There we have it, Paulie. Geez, Glenn is absolutely killing it. He's not wrong there, is he? 6.7 seconds, that gap out the front. The boss dips a wheel in the dirt. That's not going to help him get past Jimbo, as Isuzu Brian 86 says Gay FL. Haven't heard that one before. Let's go, boss man, he says, though. Very vet the flatty. And Plum Boss, Glenn is an absolute freak. Quick at any sim, any car. Big statement there from Plum Boss, but he is not doing too much wrong at the moment here, Bob. Lap 7 of this race. Half of the first stint gone, half still to go as we approach lap 15. We will see the drivers come in, do their driver swap, and get back out again. And Mac is, where's Mac there? 3.2 off of the boss. So he's hanging in there, isn't he? And not a bad race so far from Mac Miller up there in P5, Bob.
No, not bad at all. I mean, he's sat in that sort of space on his own, and I think it's just enabling him just to, not get stressed out by anyone around him, and he can just churn those laps out. And
clear air always helps. There we have it. Scotty says, hope this battle is still on at the driver change. John being Carter will love coming out on this track, as Albert also chiming in there, says, evening Mr. Plumbus Jones. Hello, Mr. Jones. And not quite working the Albert voice at all that well tonight. May have to shelve that one if it doesn't improve in the next 46 minutes. But like we always say, a lot can happen. Anything can happen, in fact, and it usually does, as the late, great Murray Walker would say. But the boss right behind Jimbo, and you said that Mac's not under pressure, but it couldn't be any more further from the opposite of what Jimbo is facing here at the moment. Didn't quite come out how I would have expected it there, Bob. But look at this. Where can the boss potentially make a move here on Jimbo Jones, who is absorbing this pressure absolutely magnificently at the moment?
To be honest, I think it's going to be very difficult to actually get past Jimbo. If you watch Jimbo's inputs carefully, the car is almost jumping around because it's reacting to the controller. So I think it's going to be very hard for Boss to find his way through.
And it's a very wide car that Jimbo's got there at the moment. Don't be shy. Keep those comments coming through here as we've got 45 minutes to go in this one. It's an endurance race, all right. Oh, Jimbo, very, very twitchy. He's on the pad, of course, the controller. And like we said, a very wide car for him at the moment. Music Racer, breaking news here. Music Racer, the man who was very pacey in the practice races leading into tonight, is having some connection issues. And that is Jimbo's teammate. Hopefully they are all sorted out, Bob, before lap 15, because we want this battle to continue, don't we, in the latter part of this race?
Yeah, no, that would be a shame if he doesn't manage to sort that out before his stint. Obviously, he was the pace setter earlier in the earlier practice sessions, so could see some good things from him.
As lap number 9, do not adjust your TVs, phones, tablets, whatever. If the missus wants to watch something, tell her to put it off until 9:30 or whatever the time is, wherever you are in the many other parts of the world I'm sure you're watching this from, because we have got an absolute battle and a half on. We might check in with our race leader, who has, we're checking in with Glenn, who has checked out at the front. That gap, almost 10 seconds, and he is setting it up very nicely for his teammate, Prince Albert, who's going to get in that car and go just as quick, I would have thought. A little bit better that time, I would have thought. But Jimbo in third, so that battle's still raging on, as It's Paulie 22 says, I'll have to fire up the console to give Glenn a smack around the chops. Paulie, big, bold statements there, easier said than done. But I don't think anybody could potentially challenge Glenn the way he's travelling at the moment. Caleb, a little elbow action there in these COVID times that we live in. Elbow bumps all around. Because where is the closest battle on track? I think it is this battle between the boss and Jimbo Jones. Through turn 1 we go. Through Druids, no, it's not Druids Corner, Old Hall Corner. I had the map around the wrong way there. Wilco saying Voodoo versus Albert. In the second stint could be nice and tasty. We cannot wait for that lap 10 of this race. And Glenn is just controlling the pace. Like we said, it's a marathon, not a sprint. But with 43 minutes to go, that $1.01, the bets are looking very good so far.
Yeah, yeah, it looks like a sure bet at the moment, but we do know that anything can change on a track like this.
As we take a look now, here we go. Like we said, lap 10 of this race. I've lost the comments, but I've got them back now. Very keen, says Caleb, for that little battle between Voodoo, the Nigerian prince, working some of his black magic, versus the Prince of Spain, Albert, who is a Circuit de Barcelona de Catalunya specialist. Not a big fan of Bathurst, but I'm sure I cannot wait to see how he goes around this circuit. Aussie Thunder done well, close to the back of the pack. You've reminded me about our man Aussie Thunder, now just 11 seconds off of Nobby's nuts. Not sure he'll be nibbling them in the next 4 laps, but he has recovered quite well, hasn't he? Down there in 9th, but all hope is not lost here, Bob, for Aussie Thunder.
No, he's got his head down and he's just managing to chip away at the gap in front. We do have a lot of gaps in this field at the moment, and I'd expect by the end of the hour that it's going to be a lot closer. And
of course, we might go on board with one of these drivers. I think we can do that, of course, can't we? If we go drive, and there we have it. We can go through some of the camera angles and just make it a little bit more entertaining. See what the drivers are watching, or what the drivers see inside the car there. You can see through turn number 1, coming up to Cascades at turn number 3. Very tricky track, like most of these old style circuits, Bob. Very bumpy indeed. You won't do it, Paulie, says Isuzu. 20 seconds off of Nobby, says Wilco. Hanging in there, says J-Mads. Paulie says, haha, no, I'm a PC whore now. Not sure whether I should have approved that comment. But Scotty saying, come on, Paulie, get serious. You couldn't touch Glenn with a 10-foot pole unless you put the same fast livery on of the RPR boys. Scotty going into bat for the RPR boys. And it is great to see, isn't it? A fantastic turnout tonight. And of course, great to have you with us for what is almost a combined event in many ways. RPR, KRL. It is great to have such great numbers, Bob, and it's great to have you with us for this fantastic series, which we are seeing before our very eyes.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. No, to be honest, it's refreshing. You know, I think I said last week, you know, the way the two leagues are coming together, it's doing wonders. You know, it's making the fields bigger. It's exposing people to different racing styles, different personalities. It's great to see. And
we absolutely love bringing it to you. As what do we got here? Lap 12. We might leave the helicopter alone for a second. Here we go. Look at this. On board. My voice broke. Thank you for that. It's finally happened. God, I tell you what, it only took me an hour and a half of talking constantly, but we are riding on board with our race leader. And just to see how the big boys get the job done here, Bob. Wilco hoping for a little bit of a commentator's curse before lap 15, but Glenn is not putting a foot wrong. And Wilco, I'm not going to approve that comment. Oh no, anyway, I have. Did you pick your balls up, Trev? Thank you for that, Wilco. Very kind of you to ask. But I have had a bit of a bug coming into this week and a bit of a crackly voice. But anyway, I thought I'd try to cover it up. But anyway, let's have a look at this. Less than 40 minutes to go in this one. And look at this. Glenn now that lead, 8.6 seconds, still managing the gap back to Harvey. As we might, let's just take a look from helicopter camera and get a great view of this circuit through the Shell Oils corner. And strangely enough, it sounded like your Murray Walker impersonation. And that's very interesting indeed. When Murray gets, I think you just got to get the voice that high. Maybe not quite that high. And you've got Murray Walker there. But coming up to the Hislops chicane, turns 10, 11 and 12, and a great view here, Bob, from the helicam. The weather is perfect, so no issues about the helicopter getting up there and giving us these pictures. But boy, oh boy, gotta love these new camera angles as well. But here we have it, so 38 minutes remaining, and we are getting close, aren't we? 2 laps to go until the driver change, Bob, and then hopefully we can see the field maybe close up a little bit in the remainder of the race.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get much closer than the boss and Jimbo at the moment. The boss has been pushing the last lap or so, and he's trying, I think he might even try and get the move done before they come in for their change. We have an off.
And yes, it's Sniper, who's now back in the pit lane. We'll get to that comment in a moment, Scotty boy, but there we have it. Sniper in the pits. Breaking news out of this race. I think Sniper might be out. Wilco saying he's run out of fuel. He's done the Jean Lacey, if anyone's old enough to remember the Australian Grand Prix, when Lacey's run out of petrol. Oh, Jean, you better look a bit worried. But that was a long, long time ago. But he's run out of fuel, Bob. Not a smart strategy there from the number 13 McLaren. He is back in the pits. Is he out of this race?
I don't know what the rulings say on that. I think driver 1 has to complete the 15 laps regardless of where they are. So I don't know if he's allowed to pop some fuel in and get out and finish his 15 laps. But as we say that, the boss, I missed the actual overtake, but the boss has finally got the job done on Jimbo.
And he sure has, up into third position, but Jimbo wants a little piece of it back. And now Jimbo's going to have a go. He's not going to die wondering here. As, look at this, is he going to give him a bit of a nudge? And that looked like a little bit of argy-bargy there, Martin. You're right there, Murray. Great commentary. Formula 197 on the PS1. Happy memories growing up with that, as Scott Jordison says, KRL boys are great. Stoking the fire before the big Interleague Challenge. KRL and RPR will be raising money for Beyond Blue. Stick around for more details on that. Unlucky, says J-Mans. Looks like I'm going out after Manafort now, says Wilco. Bring it, says Manafort. Jimbo absolutely sending it there. Like we said, he's not going to leave anything on the table here. Lap 15 of this race, we're going to start seeing the cars come in, and the ruling is the same as a disconnection. Driver 2 just goes out after the last car has pitted, which will be Aussie Thunder, so they'll be in last place. And the boss, that confirms our question, Bob, regarding the rules. On what will now happen with Sniper. But boy, oh boy, Jimbo is not giving the boss any quarter at all here. And he is looking before the driver swap to make a move here.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed that he lost that position. He actually ran wide and collected some grass, and the boss had a lovely run on him to get the move done. But obviously Jimbo does not want to let that go.
And let's take a look then, as Caleb says, keen to see some voodoo action, Jimbo! And he has got it all wrong. He overcommitted, and now the polystyrene braking marker boards are paying the price. Jimbo, is he gonna be okay there from the race stewards, Bob? He seemed to go through that escape road very quickly, didn't he? Back onto the track.
Yeah, but he did lift. He did yield the position back to the boss. So I think that's all fair in love and war.
And there we have it. So Jimbo now falling back into the clutches of the purple haze of the number 34 Nissan of Mac Miller. And keen to see some voodoo action. Manafort versus me for P9. Into the pits where they come for the driver change. Couldn't come any sooner for Jimbo. Which is a shame, isn't it, Bobby, for Jimbo? He had such a good race, just lost position out to the boss there, and managing to have a bit of a scruffy lap on that last time around. But they are in the pits now. We have the driver change. We're looking at over 20 laps, I think, are we, for the second drivers here tonight?
Yeah, I believe so. Now, in the driver change, I don't know... I wasn't watching it at the time. I'm going to go back to the replay and watch it. But Voodoo is now out front.
So let's take a look at that, as Prince Albert, who is right up behind him. Look at Prince Albert there. That is, we might have to shelve that voice for tonight. But let's take a look. Albert, look how close it is. Let me get a little bit of Prince Albert action, if you don't mind here. We're going to ride on board, and that's contact.
Oh, we've had a kiss.
And there's more than just a kiss. It went to second base there, but Albert pulling out of that one. Talking about racing, nothing else at the moment, but that was too close for comfort. Albert, we're going to ride on board with Albert here, who got very close indeed, who said, I'm here, Voodoo, let's go and play, man. And Voodoo, the Nigerian prince, saying, not tonight, Albert. And now Voodoo holds that position, and Albert looking at him. That's probably not the best camera angle we're going to get. Good sportsmanship. It was indeed Albert from the Caleb. Geez, I'm getting them mixed up now. 32 minutes to go. How well am I traveling? But look at this battle. Things very, very tight there. Voodoo is absolutely flying at the moment. Come on, Wilco, let's go, Speed Racer, says Big Shep. As Scotty Boy wants to know, Bob, how on earth did Voodoo come out in front?
That's what I'm just looking for now. I'm just in the replay now. So I could see that halves did come in, 5-6 seconds behind.
Well, there we have it.
It's off the jacks. Yeah, so I believe that Glenn might have actually left something on his pit strategy, because obviously the guys have to wait until the car drops off the jack before they go.
So until it gets dropped, you cannot go. As we ride, look at the camera angles. I say it each and every week as Albert gets it all wrong, and looking through the eyes of a very nervous Spaniard there. He's managed to keep it on the track, and Bob, my heart was in my mouth. And because Albert, one of my favourites, as you sure know. But boy, that was closer now. Voodoo, 3 seconds down the road. So bad mistake there from Prince Albert.
Yeah, sorry I missed that, because I was just trying to see how the take was done. Yeah, I've completely missed that.
And
apologise.
Albert in the pits. So Albert in the pits. We've seen him make a mistake, and now he's into the pits. And you can see there, coming into the pits, we might jump on board with somebody else as he gets into the pit lane. The old Austin Powers style 3-point turn there. Harvey in the pits. We might go back. Voodoo. And look at this. A beautiful clear track ahead of him. Clear track behind him. Look at this clear air. And now the Nigerian Prince, who is used to driving the Ferrari, of course, the GT3 Ferrari, much more comfortable in that than the 666 Audi, as the Universal Boss says half the race gone, and guess what, we've got half still to go. Thank you for that, Chris Gale. But Voodoo then out in front, clear air, as you can see those braking boards that Jimbo kindly removed for us in the first 15 laps of this race. And a lot better for us viewers, says Scott. Go Albert, go. And F1 Sniper says ran out of fuel. Do. Jason started at the back of the field as per the rules for running out of fuel, which Wilco explained not too long ago. Less than 30 minutes left in this race. And who else have we got here? Look at this. John Binger. And who else is that? Is that Barters at the back? Another close battle. Picking up where the guys left off in the first part of this race. Binger, not an easy man to get past in that Nissan. John having a little bit of a moment there. He puts the wheel onto the grass. No harm done at this stage, but we are seeing non-stop action here, Bullseye, as Barters. Who's your money on now? Right up behind Binger. Who's right up behind John in the Mercedes? Action everywhere you look at the moment.
Yeah, no, this is replacing the battle that we had between Kilroy, Nobby and Sniper earlier on. This is where the action is just now. Wilco is making some moves. He's made up a couple of spots, which is nice to see. So he's on a recovery drive.
And
that's John Pitts.
Also, John coming into the pits as well. Well spotted, Bob. Wilco running a slightly different livery from last week, as he mentioned in the build-up to this week's race here tonight, as he's just overcommitted there through turn one, Old Hall Corner, and you can see, look at that, through the visor there of the number 19 McLaren. And this man is a champion of KRL, knows a thing or two about racing on Assetto Corsa, music racer. These two very close. We saw those practice times earlier this evening, Bob. Nothing between them. 000, if you don't mind, dead heat style between these two tonight. And Wilco approaching music racer, so this is going to get spicy as well.
Yeah, this will be a key battle, this will. If Wilco wants to recover anything, he's got to get the move done on music pretty quickly. And
good to see music also. Thank you for pointing that out. Scott has sorted out his connection issues, and which is good for us, the viewers. Like you said, Scott, he is going to hopefully have no issues, fingers crossed, for the remaining 27 minutes of this race, or however many laps we can get through here before the end of this one. Wilco doing what he does best. Matterford, there he is. Number 8 Mercedes there. Wilco, a music racer. We might just go on board with one of these guys. Who could we go on board with? We've got Alberto all out on his own. We might go back to one of these battles. Well, what's happened there, Bob? There was a battle going on, but now Barters is through past John. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, he must have made the jump in the pit stops. I'll quickly jump back in the replays and have a quick look for that and just see what happened.
Good stuff. Let's ride on board with Wilco then. I think this is the closest battle. 1.4 seconds behind Music Racer, if you don't mind. And I'm not sure what's happening there. I thought I almost lost it for a second, but now inside Jason Wilkinson's car. We saw the hot lap on board with Wilco at the top of our show, but my goodness gracious me, 21, I don't want to alarm you, Bullseye, but 21 people are watching this stream. Incredible stuff. 2-1 world record numbers, and a big hello wherever you're watching us from. It is great to have you with us, riding on board with Jason Wilkinson here. You can see Music Racer up ahead of him as my second monitor's gone black. Oh, forget about it. I don't need it anyway. But there we have it. Scotty saying Binger would have been polishing his crutch. He's used to opening the bowling. Classic Binger Brett Lee joke there. And let me tell you, Brett Lee, not someone you'd want to face in his prime. In fact, any time, whether it's in the nets or out in the middle, that's for sure, Bob. But Jason now, 136.2 last time around. So this is heating up. I'm losing my voice at the moment, but boy, oh boy, action everywhere you look as we're taking a look here. Perfect chopper conditions as we ride on board now. You can see there Wilco hunting Music Racer down. We might go back to, we might go out of the chopper and we might just join the action. We might see what Voodoo's up to, but well, there's a few gaps out there. Hopefully things can just tighten up a little bit in this field. Barters, John, Heat making some pit stops there. Let's take a look at Heat, what he's doing down there. As we have a look there, 24 minutes to go, so we are counting down. And interesting stuff. Can Voodoo, I guess the question is, can Voodoo win? Can he win this race tonight, Bob? Or we can't count Alberto out either, can we? He's come in, made his stop, and he's looking good.
Yeah, you can't discount Albert from this one. He's just had a moment with Heat XL while he was coming up and lapping him. So I don't know exactly what happened. It just, when I joined it was looking very close. And I think Albert has actually dropped some time to Voodoo, but Voodoo still with a pit stop to make. Yeah, who knows? Who knows how it's going to go? It's
anybody's guess, and what a journey we have in store for you in the remaining 20-odd minutes of this race. As I can tell you now that gap is slowly coming down, not by much though, 23, 24 seconds between Prince Albert of Spain and Voodoo, the Nigerian prince. My dog wants to come into the commentary box, but I cannot take this headset off to do that, or leave the central commentary position. But anyway, just sit tight and I'll be with you in 22 and a half minutes. But let's have a look on board at this circuit. Traditional circuit. We love these traditional English circuits in the countryside, don't we, Bob? But look at that. It's no runoff areas here. Grass. If you go offline, you will be punished around this track, won't you?
No, exactly. And the curbs are pretty harsh here as well, so yeah, it takes all your concentration to remain on track. We have got a bit of a battle brewing at the moment. We've got Binger, Music, Wilco and Madderford, and they're all pretty much on the same straight, so yeah, this is looking like it's going to brew up.
And let's just jump on board with that man, Madderford, as people texting me now. Sorry, I shouldn't mention that, should I? Very unprofessional of me. But Scott saying, this is great to watch. Oh, beam me up, Scotty. This is fantastic. Absolutely loving this action here on a Thursday night. Thursday leading into your weekend. We've only got Friday in the middle there, don't we, Bobby, which is unfortunate. But anyway, time to wind down, get ready for the weekend. As Manafort now 4.5 seconds further back from Wilco. Binger is in the pits. Now out of the pits again, and that's going to see Wilco go through. Up there now 3.1 seconds behind Music Racer. So he's looking good. So who have we got? Albert's come into the pits. Binger, Barters, John and Heat, who we haven't really spoken about, but everyone likes their stream time. We care here at KRL, of course. We like to give everybody some stream time. And Heat down there at the back. But still in the Aston Martin, I think it is, in the 333 Aston. He's still running. You never know what can happen in this one. Binger now out of the pits. 2.1 behind Barters. Barters 15 behind Manafort, who's 5 behind Wilco. Just 20 minutes remaining around this circuit now as Wilco coming up to Druids Corner. Very bumpy circuit, like we said, but Wilco, he's got his head down, arse up, and doing very nicely here. You said this one might be a slow burner, Bob, but I reckon we're going to get plenty of action in the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, strangely enough though, at the moment, Music Racer has extended that lead as Wilco pits. So we should have an idea of how that's worked out for both Binger and Wilco when Wilco pops back out on track.
As you see, all of the teams there on the pit wall working furiously on the strategy. All of those faces look the same on the pit wall, which is a little bit strange and unnerving at the same time. But anyway, there we have it. Wilco in and out again. Very quick stop. Very long pit lane here as well. Narrow pit lane. Easy to make a mistake. Feeds straight back out after turn 1 there. Almost into turn 2. In fact, the kink at Denton's Bend. But Wilco back out. Very quick pit stop, and he is right back on the pace. Bringing everything back up to temperature after that pit stop. Let's have a look and check in with Voodoo, the Nigerian prince, who's doing very nicely indeed. We might just go on board with Voodoo if there's no other close battles that I am missing, Bullseye. But let's just take a look here and see what that gap is. Well, the gap, I'll tell you what that gap is now. It's 6.8 seconds, is it? Or am I getting that wrong? He still hasn't made his stop, though, at the moment. So interesting. When are we going to see the Nigerian prince coming in?
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to leave it till last minute, but Albert does look as if he's making some ground up on him.
And you can see there that gap closing all the time as we see the work. You can see the effort, the work, the sweat, the blood, sweat and tears. Sorry to be over dramatic. I know I do have a tendency to do that, but you can see, look at the work that goes in there. The wheel, second gear, third gear now, going through the gears up to fourth, down this beautiful back straight here through the kink at Druids Corner, flat. Look at that, fifth gear, down to third, second, you name it. Look at the work going on there. Binger's car dressed up. Says Scotty, like it's the McGrath Foundation SCG test. What a great cause that is. Hopefully we see plenty of action in our summer. It's the Ashes, of course, which we're not talking about that, are we, Bullseye, at the moment, the way England's going over there?
Well, I'm not a fan of the sport, dare I say it. I know that's going to get a lot of hate, but yeah, I'd rather watch paint dry. However, yes, the English will probably take a heavy spanking in this series.
Don't tell that to our Indian viewers, but anyway, we'll keep pushing on. 17 minutes remaining in this race, and look at Voodoo, the man, the myth, the legend, as you can see, breaking down there into the Shell Oils corner. Go well, go Shell. And now up to the tricky little 789 bit here. Look at the curbs there. Boom, boom. And you can see those curbs very unforgiving there through Fulston's corner. Now down the short straight from Hilltop to Hislop's corner. And fantastic circuit this one. Haven't put in too many laps around this track, but I've spoken about a few of them, that's for sure. But there we go, he's in the lead. We might go back to our normal camera and see what else is going on in this race here. You can see our first lot of drivers have done 15 laps. So once we get to lap 16, we'll see that leaderboard reset itself, and it'll be Voodoo and Prince Albert, who is slowly bringing that gap down, guys. I had a good chat with him in the party chat. Couldn't get into the party chat tonight. Bullseye, 16 people. It was maxed out. That is the popularity of these races tonight. Round 2, of course, of this Driver Swap Endurance Cup. We were at Snetterton last week. Now at Oulton Park tonight. I'm not too sure, it's escaped me where we are next week, but don't forget to stick around for it. Scott says, forgot to mention, had an each-way bet for a carton on John and the Boss. So a little each-way bet action there from Scotty, which is looking good so far tonight. What's Barter's doing? Barter's all out on his own, but hello, what have we got here, Bullseye Bobby? It is Wilco right up behind Binger in the McGrath Foundation number 33 Nissan, and he is chasing him down. And I don't think it'll be too long before we see Wilco just tapping Binger on the shoulder saying, I'm here, let's go and play.
Yeah, the gap is fluctuating, but overall Wilco is chopping that down. This is going to be the battle to watch in the next couple of laps.
And let's just have a look. Which one is it for the... there we go, you can see dash cam. A little bit of dash cam footage. My goodness, the sound of that McLaren engine is so loud through my headset, and I can't reach the volume to turn it down. But why would you, Bob, with this beautiful sound? Fourth gear, third gear. Only a second or so, less than a second, 0.6 of a second off of my Bingerling, as Scotty wants to know who has dropped out. We've got 9 in the pits and only 8 on track. I think I must have missed that. As Wilco has a cheeky look at Bobby there. We'll go to Helicam. But
looks like music.
Music
looks
has...
like music has dropped out.
And what a shame there, Scott. Because he might have been beamed up Scotty style. Because he was having those connection issues earlier in the race. And that is a shame, isn't it, Bob, for the last 14 minutes of this race?
Yeah, that is a shame to drop out so far into it. Albert has got the job done on Voodoo. And
let's go back. We'll get back to this battle a little bit later on. But let me find out Voodoo, the Nigerian prince. My goodness me, that's a wide camera shot. We might go back to the usual camera, the broadcast style camera, because he has got the job done on Voodoo. I think we missed his pit stop, but we just to confirm, we have lost Music Racer a long fall. PS won't connect. So that is a massive shame, and it's potentially deprived us of a fantastic battle in the remaining 30 minutes of this race. Sorry to hear that music. Thank you, Scotty. My thoughts, echoing my thoughts exactly. Which is a great shame, but he was showing fantastic pace in the practice races leading up to tonight, and hopefully we can see you back next week with all your connections working beautifully. But Prince Albert, K-U-N Alberto, the Prince of Spain here. The voice takes a little bit of time, but you can work into it a little bit later. It sounds very American though. But Albert, and then Voodoo, very, very happy with the Nigerian prince, who has not put a foot wrong. And he struggled last week, didn't he, Bob? But he's had a very clean time of it tonight. Good to see from Voodoo.
Yeah, no, nice to see him doing well. It's a shame that he's lost out to Albert in the pit stops, but it looks like he's about to bring it home in a very respectable second place. That
sounds like a commentator's curse, but Voodoo keeping it all pointing in the right direction there in the 666 Audi there, the number of the beast, as you can see there, doing very nicely indeed. Barters in the Lamborghini in the number 81 Lamborghini. Up there in a net third place, My Bingaling. And this battle, 1.2 seconds that gap now. It was as close as 0.6 of a second, but now it's out to 1.2. So My Bingaling not letting Wilco play with My Bingaling at the moment, or his Bingaling, I should say, because one thing Binger can do very well is make that Nissan a very wide car, especially around this track, Bullseye, where it is very difficult to pass.
Yeah, no, where Binger's strength is, he can just churn out, you know, lap after lap at the same pace. So I've been watching this for the last couple of laps. So every now and again, Wilco is pushing it, and he's gone wide.
And he is off the track. Wilco down there at turn 5, the Shell Oils corner. I was caught a bit offside there with the camera there. I didn't see quite what happened, Bob. We might have to have a look at that on the replay very, very shortly. But he just looked to get on the outside, did he there, Bob, and just put a wheel onto the grass, and that was the end of it.
Yeah, pretty much. He's tried to make the move there a couple of times, and each time he has gone a bit deep. So I think he wanted that job done on Binger, and unfortunately it's backfired.
And we're going to get a look at the replay cameras now. Let's have a look here. We're going to get a bit of R1, I think it is, action through... I do apologise for this. I'm learning the replay cameras. As here we go. You can see Wilco getting closer and closer. There we go. That's my daughter in the background, Taylor, who should be in bed by now. But let's have a look here. We're going to skip through this to see. I haven't gone too early here, have I, Bob? But I think Binger...
No, keep on button mashing.
Keep on button mashing. There we have it. And let's have a look. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Look at this. Down the outside. That's not a great camera angle, Trev, but we can see. You can see here it's, as we suspected, Wilco on the outside. And, well, the McLaren has just understeered off the track. It was as simple as that, Bob. He's just gone to the outside here. Binger holding the inside line. And he's just gone in with a little bit too much pace there, and he's just understeered straight off. How very bizarre.
Yeah, that's unlike Wilco, but I think that's because he really wanted to get the job done, and obviously Binger is just, you know, chucking out those consistent laps. Doesn't give him the chance to, get an easy take.
And you can see there, I think he may have just got onto that dirty part of the circuit as well, Bob, that outside line onto the marbles and all the other rubbish on the circuit. And as we saw, just going straight off the circuit there. And we won't. It's a bit like the cricket, isn't it? You got the 6-7 replays. There we have it. There we go. Return to garage. Yes. There we go. So we'll get back to the action at the front. I do apologise. Sorry for that. Just learning the replay system. But there we have it. We saw what happened with Wilco. And now that gap is extending 2.4 seconds. So you can see Wilco is absolutely trying to keep it on the pace here. But that wouldn't have done his tyres an awful lot of good. And with 8 minutes remaining in this one, can you see Wilco getting back here to challenge Binger, Bob? It's going to be tough from here.
No, he's straight back on the pace. He's taken he's taken over a second back out of Binger again. I don't know if that's because Binger would have been chuckling to himself watching Wilco disappear off into the green stuff, or if he is just driving to a delta and Wilco is pushing.
Well, we know one thing, we all know that it's not over until the fat lady sings. I won't sing as the fat lady just yet because we've got 7 minutes remaining in this one. And you can see the leaderboards are starting to change. Scott, Trev, want to hear you commentating, your commentary of Voodoo Racing from that guy from James Bond, maybe a little bit later on. Dang, team music, and Jimbo is out. Bad news to hear when I came back to the PS4. Jimbo Jones Don't forget to like Barton Motorsports on Facebook as well. Fantastic stuff. But look at this. We've got the leaderboards correcting themselves now to reflect where the second driver is. So they've done more than 15 laps. What are we going to get in here? About 20, you reckon, Bob, before the end of the race for these drivers, second drivers?
So yeah, I reckon 21, 22 laps.
As we'll jump back on board with Voodoo there. All out on his own, but beautiful camera angles, as you can see. And Helicam, set one. That's the camera. I got the wrong camera before. That's the one we were after. We're back now. So it is Prince Albert absolutely dominating. Look at this, guys. Out of the last couple of corners, onto the main start-finish straight. 16 seconds in front as he goes into lap 17 of this race. Very small crowd in the background here, but must be complying with COVID restrictions. Speaking of crowds, I think we've got a full house, don't we, for Silverstone in a couple of weeks' time, which is going to be fantastic, isn't it, Bob, to see that crowd back at the home. I know the English like to call it the home of motorsport. People like to think it's Bathurst over here, but anyway, it's going to be fantastic nonetheless. But 5 minutes remaining, just to tick over before the end of this race. Very impressed with Prince Albert there, and cannot wait to speak to him, of course. Glenn doing a very nice job. Albert taking over. Voodoo in second. Barters in third place. I thought he disappeared for a second there, but here comes Barters through to complete lap 17, or lap 16, I should say, into lap 17 of this race. Binger not too far behind him, but Jason is, well, there's plenty of time here, isn't there, for this move to still get done. He is absolutely catching him at a rapid rate of knots here, Bob.
Yeah, it's yo-yoing. I'm keeping an eye on this with bated breath, because you do want to see the scraps. But yeah, he was actually just about to break within the second, and then because he's obviously pushing it, the mistakes are happening.
And when you push it too far, and that's the concern with Binger. But it will not be long before Jason comes up once again on the back of him. But I guess, as the great man used to say, catching is one thing, Bullseye, and passing, especially around here, is quite another. But fourth and fifth, the battle continues. Matterford, what is J-Mads doing in that Mercedes, which has a very nice livery? There he is, the cameraman once again, has finally been good enough for Mr. Director to show us Matterford. As is he coming up to be lapped, I think, from Albert? That's how well Albert's travelling. Heat down there in 7th, John in 8th, and that's all she wrote. The rest of the drivers, of course, in the pits after the first stint of this race. But, well, we've got Binger 3 seconds behind Barters. Wilco now has dropped a couple of tenths further back, but they are the closest battles on the track that I can see at the moment. As Jimbo says he wants to throw a safety car. But with 3 minutes to go, I'm not sure whether that we might see a bit of a sprint to the end of this race. It almost might be too late for a safety car, I reckon, Bob, before the end of this one.
Yeah, no, I can't see anything happening. There's a big spread within the field. To have 3 cars involved to force a safety car, I can't see it happening. But it looks as if Binger is actually closing that gap a little bit to Barters.
And let's just have a look. Binger, the man who is under pressure, but it could be a bit of a blessing in disguise here, because with Wilco right up his ginger, that is, well, it's got to keep him honest, doesn't it? It's going to keep him on the pace as well, because in pursuit of Barters, I should say, because that battle, 3.2 seconds, that gap at the moment, as I've just nearly knocked that microphone out of place. But look at Wilco, he's getting serious, and there'll be a few sweaty drivers at the end of this race, Bob, but none sweatier than my Bingerling, as we might just ride on board to see this battle, which is getting closer. We've got a blue flag, but there we have it, Binger running slightly wide, as we're going to ride on board now. Through the eyes of Wilco, my controller's shit itself. No, we've got it back again, but they're coming up to traffic as well. The plot is thickening here, Bullseye.
Yeah, apologies for the laughter there. I think John was actually balking Barders, so that has actually brought the gap down even further.
Oh, Wilco! Wilco is off! But he's back on the track now with less than 2 minutes remaining. And Jimbo Jones says just send it, Wilco, but that is not going to be an easy feat around here. And Johnny boy! Oh, Johnny, come lately, he is off the track. So he won't be balking anything. He won't be doing any more balking, that's for sure, as Wilco coming up that gap now sits at a little over half a second. He doesn't want to understeer straight off the track, but the Universal Bus gives us the call. Bullseye, final lap. The leader is on the final lap of this race, and is Wilco going to send it? Let's have a look.
Yeah, so these guys have actually got a lap and a half left, so this is going to go down to the wire, I believe.
And we're just going to return to the garage, and don't you worry, we'll get back to this battle, but we'll go on board with our race leader. Here he is, Prince Albert, and we'll go back to the garage. I don't want to miss 20 laps. Oh, here we go. So Albert on his last lap, coming through the Fulsters chicane, 7, 8 and 9 to finish this race. The countdown is on 32, 31, 30 after an hour of absolute racing action. I've almost lost my my voice here, Bullseye, but I'm still managing to hang in there. And it's glad that we've still got a dozen with us along for the ride. But fantastic drive as well from Voodoo, but it's not over yet. As here we go then, Prince Albert coming up, only a couple of corners between him and victory here tonight, along with Glenn Unit. A fantastic team performance through Druids Corner, up to Lodge Corner, turn 16, then the kink at 17. And then he is home and dry to win here at Oulton Park in this endurance race. Round 2 of the Driver Swap Endurance Cup. And he slows down to take the checkered flag and win this race. Don't forget about Voodoo, the Nigerian prince, who has worked some of his magic to bring it home in P2 tonight across the line. Don't forget about the other battles happening further down the field. Wilco right up behind Binger before the end of this one. Look at this, Bob. Which way are you going to go for this battle?
I wouldn't be surprised if Wilco tries the same move into the same corner and maybe gets it done.
Could be the same
run
result.
Wide there a couple of times, where could end up the same result. Oh, here we go.
Here we go. God, Mr. Director, what's going on? Jesus, I can't
Binger's
see
off.
anything. Binger's off the track. Can we get a quick replay of that, I wonder? Can we get a replay of that? Yep, we'll have a quick look. We'll just scoot through, excuse me, sorry. I should have put up one of those epilepsy seizure warnings, but anyway, I'm going to flick through as quick as I can because we've got to work quickly here. Look at this battle. Binger. Was there a bit of a nudge there between Binger and Wilco on the final lap? I think they touched, and Binger just going off the circuit and into the wall on the inside, and that sees Wilco up into 4th, I think, or was it 5th?
Yes, 4th.
4th, I think that's the end of the replay, but that is incredible. I'm not too sure whether that was a nudge there, but Voodoo's finished, back into the pits. Binger comes, I think everyone's finished now, aren't they? They're back in the pits, but what a race, what a finish with that battle for 4th going right down to the wire. Incredible action here.
No, that was some good stuff. Yeah, it was a shame that it was an off track that ended that battle, but yeah, I think I said the lap prior that this was going to go to the wire, and it certainly did.
Fantastic stuff. What a battle. Do not go anywhere because we're going to get the drivers in for interviews, the post-race interviews, of course. But boy, oh boy, absolute action aplenty, Scotty says. John owes me a carton. Great stuff. Voodoo says that was a great round. That certainly was. Love hearts there from the Nigerian prince. We're waiting. I think we're going to send some invites out to hear from our drivers after this race. But the second part of the race, driver number 2. The second driver's Albert from Voodoo, and Wilco, it's saying he's up to third, is he, in this race in the end?
No, Barders took third.
Barders, I beg your pardon. Barders, yep, sorry, I beg your pardon. The drivers disappearing from the final results, but there they are. The session has officially ended here at Oulton Park. Round 2 of the KRL Driver Swap Endurance Cup has seen Prince Albert. Fantastic, guys. 21 laps completed, taking the win tonight ahead of Voodoo. 19 seconds further back. Barders a long way further back, and I think Barders may have been the last driver not to get lapped. No, I beg your pardon, I might tell a lie there, but we'll go in 4th in the end after that slightly controversial ending with my Bingaling. And then it was Matterford in 6th, Heat in 7th, and Johnny 2 laps down there as well. So we wait for our drivers to join the post-race interviews. Ping, there's one of them, and it's Big Glenn who's joined us here. And Scotty saying, great racing on track, great commentary, absolute pleasure watching it, and an absolute pleasure bringing it to you, Scotty, as we've got our race winners with us tonight. Glenn, we might start with you, mate. Can you hear us loud and clear?
I can, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear, mate. To talk us through that race tonight, it wasn't. It was an endurance race, of course, 1 hour. It was a marathon, not a sprint, mate. But you set it up perfectly for your teammate tonight with that first stint.
Yeah, look, I didn't feel confident yesterday when I was practicing. I was having difficulties getting used to the track and the car and the bumps and all that. But it sort of just felt a lot nicer tonight. So yeah, I was pretty happy with that race.
Awesome stuff. And moving along to your teammate, it was a team effort tonight, of course. Albert, mate, can you hear us?
Yeah, hello, Trev.
Hello, man. Fantastic. Great result. Talk us through it, mate. Just love that voice. But anyway, that's a story for another day. Mate, second stint didn't look like you put a foot wrong there, mate. Talk us through it.
Yeah, Glenn set it up for me really nice. He had, I think when he pitted, he had like 15 seconds advantage, but then we had a bad pit stop and then Voodoo was ahead of me, so I was kind of freaking out the first 2 laps. I was like, what's happening? What's happening with this? And then we decided to pit early because I felt I was a little bit quicker than him. And yeah, he played out nicely at the end. So yeah, amazing by Glenn, as always.
Great stuff. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Prince Albert. Great stuff. Gracias. Adios. Absolutely.
Adios.
I've just got to calm down here. Just getting a little bit excited there. It's Carlos Sainz, Fernando Alonso, everything all rolled into one. Anyway, adios to you, my good man. But Wilco confirming that Binger and him did not make contact. So we were watching the replay screen on that battle towards the end of the race. But it was mighty, mighty close, that's for sure. Caleb, get amongst it as Voodoo, the Nigerian Prince. P2, mate, talk us through a very clean race. You had a bit of a rough week last week in round 1 of this particular championship, mate, but you came back strong this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Harvey did great in working up a setup. I tried my best with the Audi and it just wasn't working out for me, but Harvey came through with the goods and done a couple of tweaks. You know, it was good pace. I just couldn't find that pace throughout the race, unfortunately. But yeah, Albert kept me really honest over those first couple of laps. So I was kind of surprised I came out the pit lane in front of him, but yeah, no, it was great.
Great stuff. And have we got your teammate in the party chat? Have we got Harvey?
Yeah, Matt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Talk us through your race, mate. You set it up pretty nicely there for the Nigerian Prince in the second part of that race. Talk us through it.
Yeah, didn't get much. Didn't get a whole lot of practice. I did a bit of practice last night, but not too much before this one, so it was iffy, and he wanted me to qualify that way. We had a good option for next week, and sort of once, like, did alright in quali. I never do that well in a lot of like pressure quali, but did alright. Boss went off early, which I thought was a bit of a good thing for me, because I was worried I would be trying to race him a bit too hard instead of catching up to Glenn, and then sort of just losing a couple of tenths each lap to Glenn. Like, he just had real solid pace, and so did Albert at the end, but yeah, not too bad.
Great stuff. Thank you, Harvey. Good finish there tonight. P2 for the Purple Audi boys, Voodoo and Harvey. And thank you for giving us your time after the race. Right,
boys.
moving along to who have we got in third? Was it Barters and Kilroy, I think, and the Black Lambo? Boys, have you got us?
Yeah, I think Barter's bailed, mate. But yeah, we had it was all he brought it home for sure. No help from me, but yeah, we had a good kind of first tight stint with a couple of other drivers, F1 and Nobby, some good close racing. But yeah, that was it just wasn't quick enough for those, for the rest of the field. But yeah, Barter's had a good clean pit stop, and Barter's got out and ran a really good race, and he got us to third place. So all's good.
Great stuff. Many thanks, Barters. Did bail on us, but thank you for that Kilroy podium finish in the end, mate, for Team Lamborghini. Congratulations and all the best for next week.
Yeah, thank you. Congrats to the other two podium places.
Great
Well
stuff.
done, fellas.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for
Cheers,
joining
mate.
us. We'll catch you next week. Well, Donington next week. Bob as well. Glenn and Albert now have a decent lead in the championship as well, so that's interesting. Bring on Donington, says beam me up, Scotty. Kilroy had a great race. Congrats, Aussie Thunder. Good race, guys. Poor Aussie Thunder didn't have a great start to that one, did he, from turn one? But still, fantastic night we've had. Plenty of entertainment, plenty of close racing, plenty of action. Thank you to everybody who was good enough. I think we had 21 people on the live stream at the midway point of that race. So thank you, everyone. Scotty, Caleb, Wilco, Thunder, Jimbo Jones, everybody for joining us in the live stream comments tonight. It's been fantastic to have your company. That's a wrap for round two of this Driver Swap Endurance Cup presented by the Kid Briars Racing League. Donington next week. Bobby, thank you for joining us again for another week. That should be epic as well.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. No, it's going to be a great event at Donington. It will be another doozy.
It sure will be. Aussie Thunder, thanks for watching. Scott says, excuse me for stating the obvious, but he says, Wilco, 4 out of 6 RPR guys on the podium. Game on. A little cheeky wink there. Definitely says Wilco. Who is the driver of the day? That's the last question we've got. Who are we giving it to tonight? Bob, any ideas?
Oh, I don't know, to be honest. I mean, there were some terrific battles in the first stint, with Kilroy, Sniper, Binger, was doing tremendously, holding Wilco off. Too hard for me to call, to be honest. I'll have to hand that to someone else.
Well, I've got to say, I'm a bit of a sucker for a Spanish man in a yellow Ferrari, so I'm going to have to go for Albert and Glenn. Didn't do too much wrong tonight. Congratulations, boys. Big thank you to everybody for joining us tonight. That is a wrap. We are over and out. Stay safe, stay well, be kind to one another. Don't forget to social distance, all that stuff. And we'll see you next week for round 3, the grand finale of the Kid Buyers Driver Swap Endurance Cup from Donington. But until then, it's bye for now.